All right, this is a video for the graphing equations assessment review. And so in this test, we basically we're just going to review over the slopes. And so we're going to all the different ways you can find the slope and the way the slopes are presented. And then we have graphing, some graphing involved. And so this test is a little easy. It's not too bad of a test. Could be a little bit easy. And so we're just trying to review some concepts that we've learned. All right, so here we go. The first thing it says we're supposed to use the y2 minus y1 to find x2 over x1 to find a slope of the given points. And so I've given you 2 points. I'm going to do this on another piece of paper so that way we can kind of see it a little better. Well, let me see if I can do it without the paper. I'll try to do it. All right, so we're going to try to do this. All right. All right, let me get a pen here. All right, so I like labeling these. All right, so I'm going to say this is x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to go ahead and do this one too. x1, y1, x2, y2. All right, and if you notice here, it says y2 minus y1. All right, so my y2 is a -3. So we're going to put a -3 here. I'm going to start way over here. This right here is a subtract sign. I'm going to do it a different color here. I'm going to make it like black. There it is right there. So that is the subtraction. You can't really tell in the color here. All right. So my y1 is a 3. x2 is a 5. And then I have the big subtract sign in the middle. This is where most people mess up, is that big subtract sign. And then my x1 is a -5. So see right there, I have 2 negatives side by side. So if I was to clean this up a little bit, it would be -3 minus 3, 5 plus 5. So this would be -6 because a -3 and a -3 gives me -6, and 5 plus 5 is 10. Now, all I have to do is reduce it, and you have to reduce this to get credit. They're both even numbers, so I can divide them both by 2. So my answer is, if I divide that by 2 is 3, divided by 2 is 5. So my slope is a -5/3. That means this slope is decreasing. All right, so that's what that means. In my class, we also talk about it being less steep or more steep. All right, let's look at B. Same thing. We're not going to change anything different. We're going to kind of use the same one. So y2 is a -3. All right, I'll use a pencil on this one. We're going to use the big subtract sign, so we'll put it right there. Yeah, it looks a little bit different. And then y1 is 6. All right. X2 is -1, and then we have the big subtract sign between them. And then x1 is 2. All right, so -3 and -6, -9. -1 and -2 is a -3. How many times is 3 going to 9? It's 3 times. There's 2 negatives, so my answer is going to be a positive. So this is an increasing line, and it's going up. And this one would be a little bit more steep than the other one. So that's how you find this, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so section 2, we are going to find a slope from a table. So you can pick 2 points. First thing is, I always check to see if x is increasing by 1. And it's not, but it looks like it's increasing by 2. All right, so I could just pick 2 points. Now I could do the change in y over the change in x. So I find the pattern. So look, this one's increasing by 2. This one's increasing by 2. That's increasing by 2. And that's increasing by 2. Then I look at here. This one looks like if I was to do this, looks like I'm adding 6 to this and getting that. If I add 6 to that, I add 6 to that. So this one's adding 6. Now, remember, it's changing y. So y goes on first. So it's 6 over 2. And if I did 6 over 2, that would be 3. And so my slope here would be 3. All right. That wasn't too bad. So let's check this one. Now, we could do 2 points. So like you could pick 2 points, and you could do 2 points like these and do y2 minus y1. We could do that. And let's do that. I mean, we did this one, so let's do this one. Oh, wait a minute. Is this increasing by 1? It looks like it is. It looks like it is increasing by 1. If this is increasing by 1, so when x is increasing by 1, then we can just find the pattern on the y. All right, so what's the pattern there? Well, what do I do to -6 to get -4? It looks like I add 2. And it looks like I add 2. So it looks like my slope is 2. Now let me show you something. This is added by 1. This is added by 1. So it is increasing by 1. And if you did the change in y over the change in x, you would get 2 over 1, which is 2. See, and it's the same 1. So when x is increasing by 1, you can just use the pattern on the y and it will give you your answer. So my slope is 2. It's increasing. It's going up because it's positive. All right, so look at this one. Now, these are usually a little tricky because, and what I mean by tricky is you're looking for where your line crosses the little light grid here, like the intersection there. So I'm put a little dot where I'm talking about. You see a little dot right there? I'm looking to see where my line touches the little grid right there. And sometimes these could be a little tricky because they're so close. All right, I got to find one obvious. This looks obvious to me. This one also looks obvious. So I'm going to use rise over run. Now I want to make sure that I'm counting by ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like I went up 4 right here. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I go up 4. I'll go over 4. So it looks like I'm going to 1-to-1 ratio. But did I do that right? Let's double check it. I may be off here. I got to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Oh, no, it's 3. I put 4. It's 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. So I went up 4 over 3. And if you want to check, you could do a little triangle here to see if it fits. Let's try again. So that means I go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's perfect. I see how I double checked it just to make sure. So my slope, so if I was to do rise over run, I went up 4, which is positive, and I went over 3. So my slope is 4/3. And we want to leave it improper. We don't want to change it to anything else. All right, so let's look at this one. Again, we're going to try to find where the line crosses. This one makes me a little tougher because it looks like it's maybe we may have to zoom in really big here. Okay, so I'm looking for where my line, that looks like it's one right there. So I'm going to say that one right there. Yeah, we're going to put a dot right there. So there's one right there. And right here looks good. Oh, does that look like one? That looks like one. Oh, I think it is one. All right, so look, that looks like one right there. Because I go down, look, it looks like it goes down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. See, look, down 2 over 1. So that's it. So we're going to go down 2, then over 1. So if I did rise over run, down means -2, to the right means 1. Don't forget, if you go down, it's a negative. If you go to the left, it's negative. If you go up, it's positive. If you go to the right, it's positive. So you combine these and you could have a negative and a positive, or, 2 negatives or 2 positive. So my slope here is -2. All right, we're already doing well in this. We're already flying through this. This is not taking long at all. All right, now this one, we're supposed to graph. All right, so you remember, this is the slope-intercept form. This is my y-intercept, so we want to plot that. And then 1/3 is my rise over run. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go where the y-intercept's 2, so let's see, it's right there. I'm going to go up 1 and over 3. So up 1 over 3, 1, 2, 3, put a dot. Up 1, 1, 2, 3, put a dot. Up 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, then I can take a ruler, and I don't have a ruler on me. We're just going to try to do the best we can. Now I also can go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. So we're going to try to draw this the best we can, something like this. All right, now let's go to the next one. All right, so I start at 12. The y-intercept's at 12, so it's 10, 11, 12. So I start right here. My whole number is my rise over run, and my whole number is a -4. So I can put a 1 in it. So that means I'm going to go down 4 to the right 1. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1. So I'm going to make my little circles a little bigger so I can see them a little better. And then I could get a ruler, but I'm just going to go ahead and freehand it. Looks like something like that. And that's terrible straight line, but that's basically what it looks like. All right, two more. All right, so we look here. Looks like my y-intercept's -2. So my y-intercept's down here. My rise overrun. So my rise is 3. My run is 2. So I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3 over 2. 1, 2, 3 over 2. And go down 3. 1, 2, 3 to the left 2. And it looks like I could draw my line. Whoa, that's really bad too. Draw my line. It looks something like that. All right, last one. This is in standard form. So you can see it's in standard form. We got to convert it into the slope intercept form. So this is the one where I'm going to move my x over first. So I'm going to subtract x to both sides. And when I do, I'm going to bring down my 3y. Remember, I can't subtract an x from $6, so I just write 6 minus x. I'm going to divide everything by 3 because y is being multiplied by 3. So what's the opposite of multiply? Divide by 3. So I'm going to divide everything by 3. So my final answer is going to be y. It's 3 goes into 6 2 times. This is a fraction. So remember, there's like how many x you see there? You see 1x. So you could say minus 1/3 x. That gives me my rise over run. So here you go. My y-intercept's 2. Rise over run is up 1. Oh, it's a negative. I better pay attention. That's a negative. So that means if it's a negative 1/3, that means I can put the negative on the top, or I can put the negative on the bottom. That means I could go down and to the right, or I could go up and to the left. All right, I'm going to do both so you can see it. All right, so I'm going to go down and to the right. So I'm going to go down 1. Is it down? Yeah. Down 1 to the right, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'll do it a couple of times. Down 1, 1, 2, 3. All right, now let's do the other one just for this right here. Up 1, left 3. 1, 2. Up 1, left 3. And you could see when you look, the dots are in a line. So I'm going to go here. And then there is my line. And that's it. That's how you do this one.